I have no idea what you're talking about. I thought you were saying Inspector Man and then just saying Inspector Gadget wrong.
Yeah, I
What
did
is
too.
Spectre Man?
No, it's Spectre Man. You guys
Nope.
never heard of this?
Nope.
Nope.
It was like the most craziest shit ever, right? It was about this dude that was an alien that was sent to planet Earth to help us fight pollution. And he was
Captain
like,
Planet.
no,
With your powers combined.
there was Spectre Man would have beat the shit out of Captain Planet.
Speaking of Captain Planet, we're talking today about the 86? No, 1984 Night of the Comet. And the little girl at the end, Sarah,
Right?
she was the voice of, I can't remember her name, but the Asian character from Captain Planet.
Captain Planet still sucked, dude. I
No,
didn't
I
like
know. And this was the only live action role she ever had. Everything else she had a long career in voiceover and cartoons and stuff like that. And just as a kid in this movie, Night of the Comet, 1984 PG-13 film. I don't know they had PG-13 in 1984. Anyways, this is the only live action role she ever did.
Oh wow, that's pretty remarkable. But I'm gonna
Yes.
tell you this right now: if I had like the rings from Captain Planet, I had all of them. I would take them all together, and I would take the heart one, and I would just shoot it and destroy it.
They needed another ring. You can't destroy it because it's like Thanos's, like the Infinity Stones. You need all of them to create the man.
That's how much I hate heart.
Heart. I know you're just messing with me.
What the heart? Heart was the weakest one of the bunch, dude. They tried to
This
plug
is
his
true.
ass up.
This is true.
Right? Come on, that's nothing like Spectre, man. Come on, dude. He fought some real monsters, man. He fought some real monsters.
Like what? Corporate entities?
No, man. Like freaking monsters made out of pollution. Hardcore monsters, dude. You gotta look it up. And it was that giant. And they had like a really great theme song too. It's like Spectre, man. Dude, man.
Nope. Ain't gonna do it.
That's okay.
Can't do it.
Well, that's all right. I know the pop people out there with me. I know there's people out there that used to watch that when they were a kid.
I'm not saying there's nothing wrong with watching it back in the day. I'm just saying now can't do it.
I could understand that. I mean, it's like if you like Godzilla and stuff like that. If you used to watch those type of movies, those monster movies back in the day, then this would have appealed to you because it was live action like that.
Oh, man with man in suit.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, dude.
I'm not gonna change my mind, but okay.
He had a belt buckle that looked like back in the day we used to have those sock holders that were round, and he had one of those, so you could
Lost
like
all your audio, Cobweb.
What?
Can't hear you, bro.
I can hear him. Can you hear me, Josh?
Y'all can't hear me now?
I can hear you.
I can't.
I can hear Cobweb.
Yeah. What movie are we doing today?
Can't hear you.
Night of the Comet.
Man.
Deb, you know
Hold
what?
on. Let me see if I can hear the intro.
Warning. This podcast is about...
So I couldn't hear the intro. I'm going to reboot the soundboard as the intro's going. I'll be right back, all right?
Okay.
All right.
Warning. This podcast is about the horror genre, specifically horror films. As most horror movies are filled with coarse language, violence, and/or gore, the topics and language of the cast of the pod will also reflect the genre. If you have any issues with the aforementioned warnings, please press stop. However, if you have no issue with adult language, movie violence, or the accoutrement that accompanies horror films, please feel free to continue. You have been warned.
Can you hear us?
No.
No?
How you guys doing today?
Good. How are you doing?
I'm doing pretty good today. You know, I'm feeling a little off right now because, you know, Josh is like really on a different level right now. I mean, he like started the show.
I'm on a new level. What?
Right. I thought it was like my job, you know, to start the show, and now he's starting the show without me asking him to start the show now.
Well, that was
With that,
because I couldn't hear. Look, now I'm just gonna be a floating head. Take this jacket off. It's too fucking hot.
That's a good one, bro. That's a good one. You do like a floating head. That's awesome. That is a great effect. Oh man, we all got to do that one day. We all got to be floating heads.
I didn't realize that. I got beans on my shirt from earlier.
You
Yeah,
got beans on your shirt.
Shirt.
Beans on your
my
shirt. You got beans on your shirt.
Hey,
Beans on your shirt.
get it,
Mm-hmm.
man. This is beautiful today. What movie are we supposed to be doing again?
Night of the Comet.
This was a movie. Who requested this?
Me. That was me.
That was Deb.
Yep.
Okay.
This movie I used to when it came out on cable, I used to watch it all the time. And I did not know that it was considered a comedy horror, but I didn't see any comedy.
Really?
I mean, there was parts that were funny, but I mean, not enough to be where it's a comedy horror.
Even
That's
by
only-
1984 standards.
By 84 standards?
It's
84 standards. Let me tell you something right now. They had a lot of comedy in this movie because it was a lot of funny, but it was not a lot of horror. I would say it was more funny than it was horror.
All right. So it's a comet wipes out most of the life on Earth, leaving two valley girls fighting against cannibal zombies and a sinister group of scientists. Directed by Throm Eberhardt, written by Throm, stars Catherine Mary Stewart, Kelly Maroney, and Robert Beltran. Yeah.
Yeah.
So did you recognize Catherine Mary Stewart?
Nope.
It was the girlfriend from The Last Starfighter.
Oh, wow. You went there? The
Yeah.
Last Starfighter was like awesome, and she really came up.
I've got a very
first, or did she do The Last Starfighter first?
They're right around the same exact time.
Oh wow, she put in that work. Last Starfighter was really good. I don't think she could have messed that up.
I've got a funny feeling. I've got a feeling that we're gonna have varying opinions when it's Calculator of Doom time.
You know, I'm all
Call it a hunch.
Listen, I'm trying to keep my opinions to myself.
Why? That's what we're all. This is all. This is what the podcast is all about.
This is what we do.
No, I just wanted to unravel, you know, because I've been listening to what Josh has been saying, you know, how we've been getting to a lot of discussions about these movies, and we're not giving them sometimes the full justice that they need to be given, you know, to our fans, you know.
True. And
you guys, and I know Deb really enjoyed this movie, and this was something that, as she said, she listened to her childhood. I think that we need to let's do this mug like old school, like we need to dive into this a little bit like this, so I can tell you how I really feel about this movie.
Okay.
All right. So picture
scene.
Uh-oh.
I don't know if we can do scene by scene because I don't remember all the shit from this movie.
I know. Go ahead. We good.
But so Beltran, did you recognize him?
No.
It's Commander Chakotay from Star Trek Voyager. He had the tattoo on his face before Mike Tyson did.
Oh, okay.
Did you watch Star Trek? Last Voyager?
Not Last Voyager, Star Trek
Voyager. I mean, this Star Trek Voyager.
No.
Was he in anything else, Josh?
Yeah, he was in Nixon. He was in Bugsy. He was in Night of the Comet.
Okay.
He was in, he was in a lot of stuff. Repo Chick, Cry of the Winged Serpent.
Let's be honest. And
I thought it would.
Go ahead. What was you saying?
No, go ahead.
In this movie, there were a lot of actors that you would consider like B movies. I think the most experienced actor that lived out to this thing was the general on the other side, right? The guy that played him. I've seen him in a lot more movies than anybody else in this flick.
Yeah, he's been in tons of stuff. He was that's Jeffrey Lewis, Dr. Carter.
Right.
And he got killed off in Devil's Rejects.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, he's a pretty good actor.
He was in Every Which Way But Loose with the orangutan and Clint Eastwood.
Oh yeah.
Right Turn, Clyde.
Oh wow, you taking it back, man.
That was his partner, right? Well, the
Look,
other,
I'm just floating hands.
right? That was him,
Yeah,
his
look at that.
partner.
So
I forgot about that movie.
What?
Every Which Way But Loose.
No, say it, Cobweb.
So I'm trying to understand. The comet was coming, right?
Mhm.
It was Haley's Comet. That's what I was gonna say. Picture
That's
yourself.
This was supposed to be Haley's comet.
Do you remember back in the day when we were kids and Haley's Comet came and people were, it's the end of the world, we're gonna die.
Yeah, I didn't even really care. I didn't even look at it. I was like,
that's
so
when
what?
this movie came out.
It really did.
Yeah.
You know, because it wasn't even on my radar. I mean, like Haley's Comet, I was like, come on. I got like other stuff to deal with, like Reaganomics and shit.
Yeah, but we were kids back then. So
Hey.
I was a kid. I didn't care about anything that happened around the world or whatever.
So they made this movie. This movie came out in 84. What?
Nothing.
84?
No, I'm saying right now for Deborah, I'm backing you up here, Deborah. Don't be all like, wow, you're talking over
Because I was still talking.
Oh, well, continue.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
No, I was saying the fervor for this movie came out. It came out in 84. The Haley's Comet fervor, the end of the world crazy people had already started because in 1986 is when it had its nearest approach to Earth. Yeah.
Okay.
April 11th, 1986.
Okay.
I mean, look at Independence Day. Look at all the people that were on top of the buildings and having parties because the spaceships came into, and they were flying over us.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what.
And that was like way later after the Haley's Comet. And look what happened.
I was outside my grandmother's house, my maternal grandmother's house, my abuela's house. And we were standing out there waiting to see what we could see. And it was funny because like one of my cousins was pregnant or something like that. She had to wear a key because you're supposed to wear a key during eclipses and shit like that. But she had one on, well, yeah, whatever. And yeah, we partied it out outside.
There you go. There you go. I mean, look at people like a Y2K or something like that when they were thinking all the computers are going to go out. They were going like Y2K parties or something.
Hey, but yeah.
That's true too.
I don't know how many ends of the world my old ass has lived through so far.
Yeah, I bet you there's been a lot that we probably don't even know about, that we don't really want to know that happened,
Yeah.
I want to find out why the fuck that dyslexic Mayan messed us all up and put the end of the world being 2012 when it like the end of society started in 2021.
Dude, I'm still tripping about Thundar Barbarian. I know we're supposed to be all gone by now.
Thundar.
Shit.
Hey, you taking it back there, man. You taking it back there. So I'm on it.
So let's get into this movie. It's about a girl and a girl that was ahead of her time. This was definitely a don't be slut shaming movie. Don't be body shaming. Don't be slut shaming people movie. Because she was making it with the guy for $15 in the projection room.
But he wasn't giving her $15 for doing that. Remember, she said
he was just giving her $15 to hold the door open after they were making it for free.
Yeah.
Their words, not ours, making it.
Yeah.
Man.
Because she said, do you know what that makes me look like if you give me $15 afterwards?
She was like, you're supposed to give it to me ahead of time. But anyways.
That's a point.
And then her
very strong point.
Her cheerleader little sister's like, you're making it with all the guys that I want to get. I'm like, whoa. But skipping the whole slut shaming thing, because we are not slut shaming. We're just pointing out what in this movie they're trying to show as strong points. These were both very strong, independent ladies that knew how to use Uzis because they were trained by their tactical special forces father
Those
that you
were
never see in
Uzis
the
that
movie.
they had. Were they? Were those Uzis? Were
They're
they?
Mac
They knew how
10s.
to use them.
They're Mac 10s. They weren't Uzis.
Right. You hear this, ladies and gentlemen? We're talking about two girls that know how to use Mac 10s. They knew how to use Uzis. You know,
And they knew how to defend themselves too.
they did know how to defend themselves. They all did.
What's her name? The main girl. She had that palm strike. That first zombie.
Yep.
Palm striked him in the face. Caught him in the throat.
Let me tell you something right now.
Uh-oh.
Here we go.
No.
Wait. You said you wanted to go scene by scene. Save it for a second. Just remember it. Remember where we're at.
This is the scene. Okay, this was the movie. Now I have a count now, and I'm going to say 2.
2.
Now, anything else after that, I'll let you know.
Okay.
Go ahead. Keep it going.
So the movie starts off with showing just what they're doing this evening, right? And the older sister is making it with her friend Larry in the projection room that happened to be made out of steel, even though it had a wooden door, but it was made out of steel.
Mm-hmm.
And it also had the vent where they projected through. I'm just saying. And they had to be breathing air from somewhere. I'm just saying. Because they pointed out later in the movie about vents. But anyways,
Yes.
And then her little sister's at the party over in Knott's Landing in the little cul-de-sac in the higher end middle class neighborhood of the 80s. And they're all out there with their curly bouffant hair. And you know, even though she's married to a special forces assassin trained unaliver, she's messing with Biff from next door.
Man, you know,
I'm gonna just say,
go ahead, Josh. But I like the her playing the video games and stuff like that. That was
Regina,
cool.
yes.
Yes.
And
She's into it.
The boss is like, I don't pay you to do this. She's like, yeah, whatever. Still playing the video games. And then speaking of which, we'll get to that in a second. Remind me about the video games. No, but I just want a word of advice, my sage-like old man knowledge to anybody, any of our pod people or pod guests or anybody listening to this. If your partner in life, be they male, female, they, them, whatever person, name, thing that they are, right, is a trained professional unaliver, why would you be messing with your next door neighbor that everybody knows about, including your children, that your professional unaliver has trained to be mini assassins themselves? Why would you think that's a smart thing?
Because she didn't care.
You saw the fist fight.
And then pops her right in the face.
Yeah,
Doesn't even.
Popped her right in the face.
The daughter.
That was a kind of toxic relationship right there, and it didn't look like that. They probably won a couple rounds before.
Yeah.
You know, and that relationships with them was completely split. You know, so I mean, I guess it all played a part in the movie.
Did you notice that when she hit her and she fell back against the TV, they showed the reporter in the news and he looked all like worried, like he was going back and forth.
Like the reporter looked at the TV like, oh shit.
Yeah.
But he was talking to the people that were there around him, but it just, maybe that's why they did stuff like that. Maybe that's what considered a comedy.
Yeah, they kind of played off of things like that. I mean, that was pretty funny. Honestly, that whole fight scene was hilarious. I thought it was pretty funny. I liked it. I think that was good, and I also think that the whole concept of her, you know, when she got on that motorcycle, I didn't understand the concept when we are at the stage right now when she wakes up and there's like the apocalypse has happened, comet or whatever, and she's out there fighting with the guy in the alley, the zombie in the alley. Why did the number 2? Why did she throw the keys?
Yeah, we said that too. Deborah's like, what the fuck?
Right.
I said, what? And she's like,
Josh had Josh had a good point.
What's the point?
I don't remember.
Yeah, you
Because
said
it
that way
doesn't
she
make
could, because it was the same hand that she hit
Oh
him in
yeah,
the
so
nose
she could
with.
do the palm strike. She had to empty her hand. She didn't have time to put shit in her pocket. Palm strike, neck chop, backflip to the bike, grab the keys, bust out of there.
Can she just put them in her pocket?
She was
wearing
freaking out.
tight ass Jordache, 1984 Jordache, or
Why could-
whatever
Yeah,
Cavaricci
yeah.
jeans, whatever they wore back then.
What if she
And
switched the keys to the other hand?
But she
'cause she
used both
needed that
hands.
hand for the throat punch. Palm strike,
shit,
throat
you-
punch.
Punch. Key, finger. That's okay.
She wasn't thinking.
I really thought
Shit.
she was gonna do that. I thought she was gonna put the keys between her knuckles and all that. And I'm like, man, this is the 80s where, you know,
Right. That's what I thought she was gonna do, But no, and then she jumped on that bike and she was out.
Deborah's
You
all
know?
like,
Yeah.
I don't know you. That's my purse.
I did say that.
How did she lock herself out the doggone? How did she lock herself out the theater? I don't understand that. That was so
Because she
creepy.
put the
She
trash
put the
can
trash can at the
her
door.
lazy ass put the round trash can there at the weighted door where she could have laid it over. Some of the trash would have spilt out, but it wouldn't have rolled that way. I straight up would have put the can down.
Yeah.
That way there was more friction there to hold shit back.
Yeah, I didn't understand that why she did it like that, but it didn't matter. I mean, whatever.
Okay, so
everybody.
we're 20 minutes into this pod. We haven't got out of the opening 2 scenes yet.
But
Oh, we're
it's so
still
much.
talking.
So to the people that haven't seen this, real quick, what happens was everybody's getting ready. They're partying. They're not calling it Halley's Comet, but it's Halley's Comet, right? And so everybody gets dusted. Main girl wakes up. Her boyfriend's there, and then her sister. Man, her sister slept in a shed. This is the
And
thing.
it protected her. And it protected her.
Yeah, she was in a backyard tin shed.
But she
She
was in
said-
a bubble.
Bubble? No, she
Yeah.
said she was. No, she was in a lawnmower.
She was in a
shed.
bubble. The storage was in a bubble that was protecting her.
Where are you getting a bubble from?
Because she got protected.
So,
It had to have been a bubble.
so anybody
was
that's
hope.
ever
It was
been
hope.
in one of these metal backyard sheds that she probably
They
got
have bubbles.
they probably got them at like Sears or Montgomery Ward back in the day. Them shits didn't have floors. So they were just like sitting on the ground.
Yeah.
And then the doors just kind of close, whatever, and some bad rails and all that. Right. Later on, we find that the scientists, the mind hive, the brain hive that's there to save all of humanity, they're infected and they're zombies because they didn't close off their air filters. They were underground and shielded and this and that, but they left the vents open so they could breathe, and that's what polluted them. But these two chicks, not that it matters that they're chicks or whatever. I'm trying to be.
Hey, it's
know.
all inclusive movie here, man. They're gonna get it all too.
Yeah. But
They
like, so
survived. They survived by sleeping in a what is it, a movie theater
and a dirt floor shed.
And a dirt floor shed. They survived while the rest of the people in the city died beside them and a truck driver and some crazy ass fools that worked at the goddamn mall.
A truck driver that was in the back of his truck, right? And anybody who has any kind of truck driver relative or ever been in the back of a truck, especially in the 80s, yes, the trailer's made out of metal. Yes, the doors are made out of metal and or fiberglass, but the floors of them shits is wood. I'm just saying.
It's a movie.
That's right. We're taking it as it is because it's a comedy. And that's funny that happened. That they were able to live like that. That's hilarious.
What I want to know is, like, how come some of them turned into zombies? Are they the ones that stayed inside of a building and just inhaled the
How
dust.
come some turned faster? The scientist, the general guy, the guy that was in House of a Thousand Corpses, he said something that made sense. He said, because when they're trying to get the blood after the other human hosts are dying, he said we don't have to give everybody the
Blood.
vaccine yet, the blood, the transfusion, because of nature. It takes longer for some people to transform. So whoever's sick now will take care of them. We'll get more of the blood, and then we'll get the other people. So that's the excuse. That's the one line that saves the whole movie,
I didn't see any
writing
zombies.
wise.
How many
That
zombies?
there
did
was
you
a
see?
couple of zombies. Well, all the
How many-
scientists turned into zombies.
The guy,
then-
the first zombie in the movie.
Yeah.
That's it.
No, and then the four guys in the mall.
In the mall, those guys, they were zombies. They took
They
off
were
their glasses and
zombies.
they had in the sunken eyes and all that. They were zombies. The scientists became
They
zombies.
were almost. They were not fully zombies.
They were getting zombified. They count.
It was a zombie.
Yeah.
But we didn't see any really good people that were like. There was only like one zombie. Let's be honest. This movie had like this was a zombie movie. If you guys like thinking like, oh, we got another zombie movie or something, you got zombies, man. There's a difference between zombies and those freaking Walking Dead people, isn't it?
It's a different world, bro. It's a different world. There are a couple of things. There are 1984. There is something I did want to point out. One of the little known facts was that the actress, that played Regina,
Okay.
Catherine Mary Stewart, she wrote her own line in the scene when she meets Chicote, when she meets Robert Beltran.
Oh.
And he has the gun because at first they run into him at a DJ station, a radio station, and they find out that the radio station was just run remotely, not even remotely, just by automation. The DJ wasn't real, which they should have understood when it was Saturday and the DJ was like, "Oh, it's Friday night. We're still playing the same whatever, blah 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 blah." But anyways, that would take them to they'd have to listen. But so he's got the gun. He's like, "Let me see your eyes. Talk," because he wants to see if they're zombies or not. Right. And then after he sees that they're human, he puts the gun away. So Regina wants to show off that she's all G.I. Joe. Can we say G.I. Joe? Is Will Smith going to punch me in the face?
Of course.
Keep this movie out your... Oh, I'm sorry. Sorry, Will. Hey, you know what? After all that's come out and all that, I'm still backing Will.
Continue.
I mean, he shouldn't have punched Chris in the face. But anyway,
Continue.
Of course, Deborah's going to push us past that.
Of course, let's keep it going.
So that scene,
I don't want to talk about Will Smith.
That scene, she's got the gun, right? And apparently she ad-libbed this line, and she says, "Oh, that would be all right for date night in the barrio, but we need something with more stopping power."
God, oh my God!
What the fuck was she trying to insinuate in the barrio?
Because she's hardcore, bro. She's
date
hardcore.
Date night in the barrio.
How come it was hard to, you should have been like, there was like survival stuff there, but I didn't understand why they didn't start stocking, piling up on that stuff from the get-go.
Some food. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then, of course, girls just want to have fun. They have to go shopping at the mall when the guy's not around.
I can understand that, just to blow off some steam and stuff like that, but the whole concept, I think they should have been a little bit more careful. They let themselves down.
You are right.
Why he had to leave? That was dumb. Why?
Because he wanted to go check on his mom.
I could.
He turned down the role. He turned down the role and refused it because the original version of his character was all cholo, and he was like, "Yeah, there's enough of that for Hispanics. For back then, there's enough of that for Mexicans already. I don't want to play that." So they changed the character up and made him the way that he was in the movie, just so they can get him back. Good stuff.
That's good because I like this character that way. It was really more authentic.
Yes, sir.
He still drove the car.
The bomba car. Yeah. But he was very San Antonio, even though they were in Los Angeles.
Yeah.
It was pretty funny when he got to the house and he was running through the house and he was trying to get away from the zombie and stuff like that. He was slipping on the floor. That whole scene was pretty hilarious,
I told Josh when he slipped on the guitar, I think that was real.
They just said we don't have the budget to keep it going. Just keep it
Well,
going.
that makes sense. That makes sense because the Uzi scene, the Mac 10 scene, when it jams, right? It legitimately jammed, and the director had told everybody, whenever we run on anything, or if you flub a line, just keep on going with it. We don't have enough time, because they were actually stopping traffic in Los Angeles to film this shit early in the morning. So they're like, if you mess up whatever, just go with it. Just keep on going. We're gonna keep on rolling. We're not doing multiple cuts. So when the gun jams, she's like, and she tells Regina, "Dad would have got us Uzis. They work better." That
Right.
was a line that she just came up with out of nowhere.
And I told Josh, she probably like her for real, not character wise, but her for real. She probably knew about guns too, because I noticed like when she said that, she turned the gun away from Regina when she was talking to her, and then like when they were walking away, she had the gun down. Like she never pointed it at her or Regina.
She had good trigger safety. She wasn't pointing it towards it. I've not talked to friends. I've quit talking to friends for bad gun safety.
I can understand that, and I saw that too. So I felt that they were very adequate with pistology. I just didn't think that they were just young. I didn't think them leaving together like that, leaving and then staying back, that sucked. And I don't understand. Please explain to me this. Why was it like pulling teeth to talk to her sister about the phone call when the scientist called them? That was the most horrible conversation you think you could have with a teenager. That was a typical teenager conversation. Okay, what else did they say? Come on, think back. Oh, and then they said something else. I'm like, what?
So picture this. This movie is made in the early 80s. In the movie, this character is A, female, B, teenager, C, blonde, D, a cheerleader. They had to make her that way.
Yeah. She checked all the boxes for real. I'm sorry. Right.
Yeah, that's true. And she did a good job. I think they all did good jobs on their characters.
Yep.
I mean, what can you do with this movie? I mean, you might as well do a good job on your own self, I mean, it was a comedy. I mean, they obviously they try to take it serious, but they didn't want to take it too serious to, like not laugh at themselves.
I still don't see any comedy.
Well, I can see the comedy, especially like when Hector, he's at his mom's house and then he sees the kid and he jumps out of the window and he's like, "There goes the neighborhood." Like
Okay.
I see it now. I didn't see it when I watched it. I didn't see the comedy then, but I see it now that we're talking about it. I'm like, yeah, I see where they are trying to put the comedy. I don't know if I consider a comedy horror, but I can see where they were trying to do the comedy.
Yeah,
I can see that. I mean, I see more comedy than I do horror. I mean, everybody was turning into zombies, but we only got we didn't see any real zombies.
Well, I think
the zombies. And then the one when you saw the one scene when you saw like the zombies, that one scene when she woke up at the radio station and she didn't know she was dreaming, and then she woke up and she was still dreaming again.
Yes,
Dreamception.
The Dreamception. That was pretty dope. That was probably my best scene of the movie. I like that. That was directed very nice.
And I think the horror part, just because there's only a couple of zombies, I think the horror part is the idea of waking up and the world is gone. Like there's nobody else. Like you go outside and all there is outside are clothes and sand from where people were. Can you imagine like waking up and then everybody's just gone? And it's just you and a couple people.
Yeah.
No, I couldn't.
I guess.
That's hard. That's hard to imagine. I mean, what would I do? I don't know. Probably just
I mean, there's lots of things I would do, but you also have to be careful because, well, one, you find out there's people who turned into zombies, and then two, you have to wonder if there's regular people that are not zombies, but are the ones that want to hurt you because that's the way they are. Like all the, they want to rob you and stuff. So you have to be careful with that too. So.
And D, we are going to do what we would do in this type of situation, but it's a Patreon only recording directly after this one.
Okay.
And
I'm fascinated by this. I'm fascinated about this. Because it's pretty. She was having a hard time with it. She really, the one sister, because you know what, that was the thing, because you could tell, because she said that she kept having a rash. You know what I'm saying? That she was breaking out. You know what I'm saying? And they were thinking that she might have been had caught the disease
infected.
Or whatever, infected. Because of the rash, because you could tell because she was having these nightmares and stuff like that throughout the entire time. So I guess that kind of played a role. They kind of that slut part right there was pretty.
Yep. Wow,
Yeah,
Deborah,
like this.
That sounded crazy right now. You turned in and went like that, just like that.
Then you have to think about the stress that, you have to keep looking over your shoulder to make sure, no one's behind you.
I'm just saying they made it. Well, they didn't make it the way that they make it in this movie, but they survived the night by being in a Sears Roebuck tin shed and a old movie theater, and more people weren't. I mean, how many homeless people were sleeping in a train or something back then when they weren't called homeless people or shelterly challenged Americans? They were there when they were hobos, and you had a stick with a bandana holding all your stuff, your whatever it was, bag.
Well, you have to
clown makeup and overalls.
Well, you have to think about it this way. They only showed that part, that area. Like, we don't know.
Los Angeles, huge ass Los Angeles. Like only 8 people survived.
Well, no, that's all we saw. Look at the guy at the end. He came out of nowhere. Like, how many people in the rest of Los Angeles? There might be other people who slept in storages and lawn sheds.
What do you mean came out of nowhere?
Yes, the guy at the end. Right, in the car.
Right. DMK?
Yeah, he came out of nowhere. Like, he came driving. I mean, he wasn't there the whole movie. And I'm saying he came out of nowhere. We don't really know if there's other people that are out there. We just know from what they showed us, like that area.
Yeah, I'm with you. But hey, I mean, he was hanging out there at the movie theater anyway. So that's why he beat the score, because it was his name on the doggone arcade game.
Yep.
Freaking goofy. Oh, spoiler alert.
Hey, they've been warned.
That's one of the things I wanted to put this movie out November 15th. This podcast, November 15th, because it would have been the 39-year anniversary of this movie.
Oh, wow.
But we're going to put it out sooner than that. But yeah, 39 years. So what?
Nothing.
Deb's making that look.
Well, because I thought we were going to do that.
I don't know what we're doing here. My brain hurts.
It's all right, Josh. I mean, it's a good. I mean, I understand the passion about this movie that some people can have, because it is kind of scary waking up like that, and not having to be able to know what you're going to do and stuff like that, and you have to try to push it together, and you got these crazy scientists, that want to kill you or like that. Because I thought that one chick, she was going to be the bad guy. I thought she was doing something bad, but she was actually a good scientist.
She looked like she should be in a Conan movie.
Yeah,
yeah, she does.
Yeah, why would they get so stupid? Why were they still doing all that stuff? Because they told them. They said they had enough blood. They had enough. They were fine. They just wanted to keep going.
Because they were losing their humanity and zombifying.
And they just wanted to eat.
Brains.
Yeah, and they kept forgetting how much they were taking out.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
That's how they knew that they were changing, because they kept having short-term memory loss.
Yep.
Woo. It's bad. It's bad.
And
And
they
that's
were
what we
all
had to live
just
with.
changing.
Right. And that was it. I mean,
Well, and then my favorite part is Chakotay comes back, saves everybody. Him and Regina save everybody, and then they all live happily ever after. They find the two little kids, a boy and a girl, and they became an instant microwave family. And then the cheerleader sister, she's drinking beer in the streets and all that, and they're like, we're going to use the crosswalk because we have to maintain society. It's our rules to carry the weight of the burden of society on our shoulders, right? So they're using the crosswalk. Then here comes DMK, almost kills the sister. And then as soon as sister is like, all right, let's go slam. Cause that's what she said. You know, that's what she was saying. Let's go slam.
yeah.
Yep.
And they drive off. They're carrying the burden, the weight of society on their shoulders by using the crosswalk. And what's the first thing they do? Play football on the fucking streets downtown.
They're just showing. Okay, before I answer that, I want to go back. This is why the little sister was getting mad, because older sister was getting everything, because you said that Hector and Regina saved the day, but it was actually the little sister and Hector that drove over there to save everybody.
That's right. My bad.
See, and
Yeah.
that's why she's mad, because people keep forgetting about her.
And see, also, she was mad. She was like, well, I want to hook up with Hector, and older sister's in the way. She's always made it with all the people I've been trying to hook up with. Right?
She confronted her about it.
Yeah,
You
she
know,
did.
and then they just laughed.
And then they left.
Hector should have been a gentleman and been like, ladies,
No,
there's enough
I know what
Hector
you're
to go
gonna say.
around.
No, because little sister was little. Hector was old.
By the end of this movie, she was grown.
No.
I mean, she
No.
was in high school.
She was in high school. She was either like a junior, maybe a senior, but I would think a junior.
But no, I'm saying by the time this movie ended, that and the actress was like 30.
Yeah, but still, no.
So it's okay for her to drive drunk in the streets like she did earlier in the movie. But now that
That
she's
was a
20,
dream.
now
She
that
was
she's
having a
20,
dream.
now that she's 20 years old at the end of the movie, because time had transpired. Now that she's 20 years old, she's still too young at 20.
No.
Well, then,
But at that time, she didn't want Hector anymore.
well, yeah, you
She
don't
couldn't
know
have
that.
him.
You don't know that.
They could have.
Hector and Regina were perfect. They were like the same age, probably. I don't know. Maybe Hector was even older than her, than all of them.
If that's about all that your people that you have, you know, you got to think, you know, like we got to start repopulating this world. You know, me getting married to one person at that point in time probably would not have been the most smartest thing.
Yeah,
I mean, come
that
on,
is
you
true.
gotta
But
spread them
honestly,
seeds around, son.
before they worry about repopulating the earth or anything or hooking up like that, they should at least try to find a couple of other people to make the gene pool not so shallow.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can get around that, but you know, you got to get in where you fit in. So I think Hector should have really took it upon himself to really, you know, make sure that happened. I thought he was kind of like, you know,
for the
come on now.
betterment of Earth and all society moving forward.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And besides, you know, it's fine. You're not crossing in. You're not crossing the streams.
Yeah.
Yeah. Deb, what's shaking your head?
Because
I think it's time to I think it's time for the rating system. What do y'all think?
Yeah, I'm cool with it. Hit them with that.
All right. Deb, are you ready?
I'm good.
Cobweb, are you ready for the cheese?
It's perfect for this movie.
Watch your screen, Cobweb.
Watch my screen.
Calculator doom time.
Oh wow, now that's pretty cool. I thought that was pretty hip. I mean, like, man, you guys got to see this online if you see this dude, but he's like freaking cool. That's our calculator of doom looks.
That's the calculator of doom. In my
I
imagination,
thought he would. I thought he would have been bigger.
It's bigger than the whole screen.
I'm just saying. I thought he would.
I'm on a monitor over here. If you're looking at your phone or whatever, I mean, it's perspective.
I mean,
I liked it, Josh. It was awesome.
Oh, okay.
I liked
Thank
it
you.
too. I just thought he just seemed bigger in my mind.
Cowboy, what do you get this movie?
All right, I'm gonna give this movie I'm gonna give it a 6.
Okay.
In this movie,
Even though you're holding up a 9.
That was a 9. No, this is a 6. Is it?
Yeah, but you had it upside down.
Upside down. I'm sorry. It's a 6.
All right.
That's
You gave it a 6.
I give this movie a 6. One of the reasons I said that the number 2, because you know me, I did count them because I only saw 2 of them, and that was only 2 black people in this movie. The first one I thought it was LL Cool J. I saw him at the beginning.
That
Yes!
is LL Cool J. That is 100% LL Cool J.
Yes, I saw that. I was like, is that LL? I was like, really? I thought it was really quick. I didn't check the credits or anything. So it was him?
Yes, that was LL.
Because I said the same thing, and then Josh looked it up.
Oh, wow. Okay, cool. The second one was the zombie. That's it. There were no other black people.
You have to see for any of our listeners.
Why? No. Why the brother got to be a zombie?
For any of our listeners that aren't from America and weren't around in 1984, you have to take into consideration all African Americans, lived in the South, in the South and in New York. There was a limited amount of African Americans in Los Angeles. And yeah.
Okay. I can accept that. Why not? Josh, that explanation just makes so much sense with this movie.
This is
what
America.
We're dealing with right now. Right. She survived. Yeah, right. Survived in a tin shed and in a movie theater box in the back of a cab. And you know what? It makes perfect sense to me now.
There were no black people in California.
I take that back. Now I'm still hard with my 6, and I'm gonna give it a wild card just because it's shits and giggles.
Yeah, dude, this black people only lived in the South. That's it. Didn't live in New York. Nowhere in between the South and New York. Nope. Just specifically New York. Just flew in airplanes back and forth, South and New York. That's it.
Nobody lived in LA back then.
Yeah, no. Yeah.
Man, around 86, what was that thing going on? Didn't they? That was Colors, and that was that whole game.
And that was Colors was a movie that was made in Hollywood, right? But
about LA gang life, this, and then they had that breaking too.
But that was all fictitious. That didn't happen for real. There was a movie. That's just movie.
Right. This is Telecomet, and it's a movie.
Yeah,
it's a movie.
The thoughts and views of Josh are of Josh alone and nobody else.
Oh man.
There, I said it. This is the first time ever that I said that.
He just didn't want to go.
See, I wanted to give this movie, I'm going to give my number now. I wanted to give this movie a 10 because it was a perfect, in my opinion, 80s cheese fest bad horror movie. But since Cowboy pointed out that only the zombie criminal and LL Cool J were the only 2 people who happened to have a higher melanin count. Now I can't say that because it could be twisted around, and they're gonna be like, "Hey, you ever watch Cast of the Pod? You know, it's that guy and that girl, and then that guy Josephus, and he's like, I gave that movie a 10 because there was only 2 black fellas in that movie. That made it great." So now I can't say it's a 10 because somebody's gonna say that shit.
Just
No.
let it be what it is. The score is what you score. I don't want
Josephus.
Deb, put her hand up. Deb, go ahead.
I just want to say there's only one Hispanic in here in the movie
This is true in Los Angeles.
in
And
Los
he was-
Angeles.
Hey,
And
he was
there's
the
only
hero.
one Asian, and it was a little girl.
This is true.
This is true.
This is true.
Wow,
This is true.
That's
And a
it.
whole
That
bunch of
was
white
what we
people.
had- Right. This is what
That's why I can't give this movie a 10 now.
all the scientists, every single scientist was white,
And they were
Every
all
single
bad
one.
guys.
and they were all bad guys. What the hell is we really bringing onto this world?
So,
here?
I mean, and look, and Regina at the beginning was a little racist to Hector.
A little. That gun might be good for date night in the barrio.
Hector.
Yeah, that was another thing. She goes, Hector.
And I'm going to give my score.
Well,
So,
I didn't, and now I gotta fix my number
Okay,
now
we'll
because it
fix
was gonna be a
yours. Go
10,
ahead,
but
do
Josephus can't be making number 10s. So not. I'm gonna give it a 7.
So
Okay.
I'm gonna go ahead and give mine because when growing up watching this movie, didn't even realize that there was only one Mexican in there, only one Asian in there, only 2 black people in there, and the rest of the bad people were white. I didn't think about that until right now. Back then I gave it a 10, and you know what? I still give it a 10.
I love you, Deborah, so much.
I'm glad you stuck to your guns, Deborah, but I realize what half of me looks like. Well, all of me looks like with the half that's on the outside. So I got to knock it down 3 points to a 7.
That's okay because they still got my 10.
Hey, that's good.
I
So
enjoyed the
let's-
movie just as much as I did when I was little.
So?
I have more questions now.
Yes.
That needs to be answered.
The movie with our rating gets a 7.6, which you can round it up to an 8 if you'd like, or down to a 7.5. But yeah, 7.6 and a bunch of other 6s.
Well, that's pretty decent. I mean, it's not a scary movie, ladies and gentlemen. You're not going to be something like, ooh, whatever. But if you want something just to like look at it and be like, is this what they were watching? And you'd be like, okay, all right. And then you're going to keep on going.
Yeah,
That's
I
about it.
mean, I love the movie. That's why I was like, I was the one who chose it. And then I was
Yeah,
like, wait, I
yeah.
haven't seen it in a long time. Like, I hope I'm not disappointed. And nope, I wasn't.
And Josh was like, it was ahead of its time and everything else like that. As he's sending me texts back and forth in the chain, it was ahead of its time, bro.
Because
Yeah.
because the ladies
Yeah.
weren't damsels in distress until they were damsels in distress. But you know, they talk about there's no strong female leads. You know, it wasn't until Captain Marvel, but then they forget like Sigourney Weaver and Aliens and all that. And then
She was a badass.
yeah, she was a badass just being a badass. You know, and if they wouldn't have done the girls just want to have fun scene, both of these ladies would have just been hardcore badasses.
I agree.
But they had to do the just girls just want to have fun so they could play the song.
It was on the soundtrack.
Yeah.
They spent a lot of money
I
on
mean,
that.
this-
Probably the most expensive thing that they spent money on in this movie. 'cause
Cyndi
the show
Lauper.
wasn't a special effect.
We got to
Yep.
think about it. Cyndi Lauper was pretty awesome. I mean, she's still awesome, but she was like pretty awesome back then. You
WrestleMania.
have
WrestleMania.
She got kicked by Piper. I thought my world came to an end.
Yep. I mean, you have to have Cyndi Lauper on your movie if you want to be awesome.
This is true.
Very true.
So I mean, they have to put it in somewhere, and then I mean, come on, they have to change clothes. So which better way to have
It's not like they
change
made
clothes if you
action
go?
figures though, where they needed an outfit change for the action figures. They didn't make Night of the Comet Barbies.
The only thing I didn't like on that part is that Regina, the blondie, Samantha, that was her name. Where she put her gun.
Oh yeah, far
Like
away from them.
Yeah. And then when she went to go look for it, she was like, yeah.
I did like the mall security guy, when she's like, "You're crazy," and he's like, "I'm not crazy. I just don't give a fuck."
Yeah. Those guys were pretty crazy. Those guys were pretty nuts. But you know, it was what it is, I guess. That's why I got a 6. I wasn't really impressed.
But they were turning into zombies.
I think all my I think all my possible 10 that I was gonna give it is just like nostalgia from seeing it back in the day on cable when we did have cable momentarily back in the day. Yeah.
Yeah, that's my first time seeing this movie. You know, I never even heard of this movie because you guys kept pumping it up that we got to do it, you know. So I was like, you know what, let's get it out the way. I'm down with that. When Deb said, let's do it, you know, and you know, it's yeah.
Well, you did give it a 5 or less, so I mean, it has to.
Right.
It's something.
There's something in there that I did like some of the stuff. Like I said, it was kind of funny. You know,
All I want to say is, as Cobweb was counting people of color, right? The term, the politically safe, but not whatever term, right? I was thinking to myself when he pointed this out, I'm like, did I miss boobs? Is he talking about boobs? Did I miss horror movie boobs in this movie?
No, they didn't show boobs.
They that's what I thought. But that's what I thought Cobweb was talking about counting. And I was just like completely caught off guard.
I mean, they showed them getting undressed, but they didn't show. Like they left it to the imagination.
Yeah, yes, that was kind of weird too.
100% though, the guy that looked like LL Cool J was definitely James.
LL Cool J,
yeah.
That's what's up. So LL Cool J was in like 2 movies back in the 80s and 3.
Which ones?
Because you think about, because he was in Crush Groove. Okay. Wow. And then he was also in Wildcats with Going On.
Oh, I love that movie.
And now he was in this one too. Yeah. So that's like 3 movies. You know, LL Cool J's been doing eons. He's still getting it done.
Yeah.
Cobweb, are you yelling into your mic? What's going on over there? All I hear is R2D2.
Boopy doop boop boop.
Yes, that's what I hear.
I'm sorry. No, I apologize. I didn't mean to do that anything. So
this movie got an 8. You said
7.5.
Right. Start trying to hype the score up, Deb.
It's 7.5. You have to round it up. There is no 0.5s or point anything. You have to round it up.
I thought we had 0.5s in our system.
Well, I mean, you do, but you still have to round up at the end. If it was a 7.4, then it would just be a 7. But because it's a 7.5, it's an 8.
Is she like serious like right now? Is she?
Yes,
she is. I think she is.
I am serious.
She's adding fluff. This movie has a lot of fluff in it. Well, it's up to you.
This movie is awesome. Why are you trying to knock it down for?
All right, fine. I'm not gonna knock the hustle. I'm just gonna call it what it is. Fine, Deb. You can have it as an 8.
See, here's the scary
reluctant thing. 8. We're gonna call it reluctant 8.
Okay, I can go with that.
Yes.
So if I would have went with the 10 that I originally was going to give it until Cobweb made me feel bad, the movie would have rated an 8.6, which means right now Deborah would have been arguing the point that it was a 9.
Yep.
Yeah.
I would have.
Right. No, it's not.
I'm not lying. I
know
would
you're
have.
not
I would have
lying.
been saying it's going to be a 9 out of 8.6. If it
You
would have been
ain't
an
listening.
8.4, then it would have stayed at 8.
Jeez. All right, I think we're done. All right,
Okay.
who's gonna end
I
it?
love the movie.
I
Deb?
got this.
Cobwebs got it. All right.
I got it. So, hey guys, check it out. You just been listening to another episode of Cast the Pod, and we got a lot of stuff coming up for you guys coming up this month. We got some celebrity guests coming in next week. Brandon from Upkick MMA is going to be here, so tune in for that because we're going to have a really good time with that, and we got a really great movie to listen to. So, we'll see you guys next week. I'm Cobweb,
I'm Josh.
And I'm Deb.
and you've been warned.
Yep.
Peace.
Hi, everybody.
Sayonara.